Okay, folks, ready for another deep dive?
Let's do it.
All right. So today we're going to tackle a muscle that we've all heard of it. We know it's important, but maybe not really sure how it works or how to train it.
Right.
So that's the transverse abdominis.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, our source material this time around
It's minimal.
Yeah, it's really minimalist.
Yeah.
It's basically like someone pasted into a chat window.
Right.
What are the best exercises for working the transverse abdominis?
Perfect. Exactly.
So that's what we're working with.
Nice.
So before we even get into, planks and Pilates and all that,
Right.
I think it's important to just lay the foundation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is this muscle?
Yeah, what is this thing?
And why should we care?
Yeah, so the transverse abdominis is a deep abdominal muscle,
Okay.
and it actually wraps around your entire torso.
Ah,
Kind of like a corset or a weightlifting belt, some people like to say.
yeah.
And so it's different from those superficial ab muscles that everybody's trying to get,
You're talking about the six-pack.
Yeah, exactly, the six-pack. This isn't about aesthetics.
Right.
This is about stability.
Gotcha.
So the transverse abdominis really plays a role in stabilizing your spine,
Oh,
improving your posture.
I see.
And it even helps with breathing and organ support.
Wow. It does a lot.
It's a really important muscle that a lot of people kind of neglect.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, that's why we're doing this deep dive.
exactly.
So how do we train it then?
Okay, so when you think about training the transverse abdominis,
Yeah.
you have to kind of think a little bit differently than just doing crunches or sit-ups,
Right.
which kind of target those more superficial muscles.
Right.
So you really want to think about exercises that focus on deep engagement
Okay. Deep engagement.
of the core.
All right. Give me an example.
So one really great example is the plank.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you're holding a plank,
Yeah.
even though you're not moving, you're isometrically engaging your entire core,
Right.
including the transverse abdominis.
Oh.
And that really helps to build stability and strength in that muscle.
Right. Yeah. Planks are hard,
They are tough, yeah.
but it's a good hard.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Good burn. Exactly.
Now, our source also mentioned Pilates.
Yes.
I don't know a ton about Pilates,
Right.
but is that good for working this muscle?
Pilates is excellent for the transverse abdominis.
Okay.
So a lot of the exercises in Pilates really focus on that drawing in of the navel towards the spine,
Right, right.
which is exactly what we want to do to
Yeah.
activate that transverse abdominis.
Interesting.
So things like the 100, the
Right.
teaser,
Yeah.
all those kinds of exercises are really going to target that muscle.
And you had mentioned breathing earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a certain way to breathe that can help?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's a technique called diaphragmatic breathing.
Wow, what a word. Diaphragmatic breathing.
Yeah, it sounds fancy.
But it's actually something that we all do naturally
Oh, right.
when we're relaxed. Yeah. So it's basically breathing deeply into your belly
Okay,
rather than just taking those shallow chest breaths.
I see.
And so when you exhale fully and you really draw your stomach in,
Yeah.
that's when you're engaging that transverse abdominis.
Wow.
So it's a really subtle but powerful way to strengthen that muscle.
So like throughout the day, you can just kind of like be working this muscle.
Exactly. By breathing, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's not just about going to the gym and doing specific exercises.
Right.
It's something that you can incorporate into your everyday life,
Yeah.
and it's really beneficial.
Now we've been talking a lot about, strengthening this muscle, but how does this actually translate into like, real life?
Right.
So what are the benefits of having a strong transverse abdominis?
So the benefits are numerous.
Okay.
First of all, like we said, it improves your posture.
Yeah.
So you're going to stand taller.
Yeah.
You're going to look more confident. Oh, I like that.
And you're going to reduce your risk of back pain.
Ooh, back pain is the worst.
The worst. So
Yeah.
that's a huge one.
Okay.
Also, it helps protect your spine during any kind of movement.
Okay.
So whether you're lifting,
Yeah.
bending, twisting,
Right.
having that strong core is going to really help prevent injuries.
Gotcha.
And then for athletes,
Yeah.
it's incredibly important because it provides that stable base from which they can generate power.
Okay.
So whether they're running, jumping, throwing,
Yeah.
having that strong transverse abdominis is really going to enhance their performance.
It's good for everyone.
It really is.
Whether you're an athlete or just someone who, wants to, sit at their desk and not have back pain.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So we started with a really simple question.
Yeah.
We've gone pretty deep.
We have.
We've learned what the muscle is.
Yeah.
We've learned how to train it.
Mhm.
And we've learned the benefits.
I think that's pretty good for a, short deep dive.
I think so too. Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
I think the main takeaway here is that everyone should be paying attention to their transverse abdominis.
Yeah.
Whether you're working out or just going about your day,
Right.
it's a muscle that really impacts our overall well-being.
I agree with that.
So, start incorporating some of those exercises.
Yeah.
Pay attention to your breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you'll be surprised at how much of a difference it makes.
All right. So there you have it, folks.
Yeah.
Another deep dive complete.
Dive.
Go forth and strengthen your transverse abdominis.
Do it.
We'll catch you next time.